start this, and we're still just on the just starting screen. So let's see. All right, good. Live on the book. Where's the video? There it is. All right, so that is on. So yeah, like I said in the text, um, we'll go over the week real quick. We'll go over the standings, and then we'll jump into college. I have a whole page here, basically on college almost. Yeah, it's actually a very interesting week for college football, as a matter of fact. Did I show you who I have as far as the games that I picked? Oh, good. It'll be a surprise for you then. You'll love them. You'll love them. I want to say yes. LSU is in there, and it's LSU and Ole Miss. Yeah, and there's one other game in there, so we're doing that four thing. All right, here we go. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Sports Dummies, the podcast.
What's up, people?
And we're going to talk a little bit tonight about what has happened in the NFL. We're going to talk about what is going to happen in college. And we're going to talk about Thursday for the NFL because typically we don't get to do Thursday night games unless we do a show earlier since we do our shows on Friday. So this is our chance to get everything in. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to start out. Uh, this instance, we're going to start out in the NFL and quickly go over these games that we had. So, Mike, what is your overall thoughts on the NFL Week 3?
Um, couple big surprises for me.
Okay.
Carolina shutting out Atlanta. I'm
Yeah.
not surprised that Carolina won, but how they won, Atlanta never passed their own 30. I don't understand against a bad Carolina defense.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know, but if you see Carolina's inside lineman, I
oh,
forget I forget what that
Derek,
guy's. Yeah, what's
he
his
just came
name?
back.
He
Derek
is a
White, is that his name?
I don't
He's a
know.
beast.
He is an animal.
Yeah, he just came back too from injury. So,
And if
I
that's the
mean,
case, then that changes the Carolina Panthers team
oh, big time.
completely around,
Yeah, because not only can they stop the run, they have some pressure up the middle, which
right?
changes a lot of stuff on defense. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
I mean, it completely shut out Atlanta to the point where they had to bring in Kirk Cousins in the second half
right, right.
because I guess
Which
Penix wasn't. I mean, it looked like Penix made a bunch of bad decisions anyway. I
oh,
think
man, the two
he
interceptions
threw,
were bad.
yeah, he threw a pick
Yeah,
six, I think, within the 15-yard line or something like that.
yeah, it was
I mean,
bad.
it was terrible.
Never
It was
took his
terrible.
never took his eyes off of the
Hmm.
receiver too. He got baited big time.
Yeah.
Um,
So
I
here are
think
the I was going to say here's the two games that kind of blew me away was Indianapolis, Tennessee, and Cincinnati, Minnesota. So
oh yeah,
let's start with Indy and Tennessee. Danny Dimes is for real. Tell me that he's not, because I'm having a hard time figuring out that he isn't.
he is to me now. I'll tell you what, it's 3 games in a row, and
And
like we talked about, he has a running game now.
mm-hmm,
He has a heck of a receiving core,
mm-hmm,
and they're using him the way he should have been used.
right,
You know,
right. It looks like
yeah,
Dayball fumbled this one.
big time, big
Yeah,
time. Yeah,
and you know, he's definitely in a better place as far as his team is concerned, as far as offensive and defensive side of the ball. Um, but who would have thought that the Indianapolis Colts of blowing people out of the water in the first three games?
right, dude. Not just winning, blowing them out.
No, I mean like concisively blowing them out, consistently
Right.
doing it too, 3 weeks in a
Yeah,
row. And on top of that, one punt, no turnovers.
that's crazy. That's insane.
I
Insane.
mean, at this point in time, it'd be hard to argue that they can't compete with KC, Baltimore, and the Bills in the AFC.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Because right now in the AFC, I think it's up for grabs. I mean, I
Yeah.
think Buffalo's probably the cream of the crop, but after that, like,
Yeah, I would think
it,
that Buffalo is probably the hands-on favorite right now, just because of
right,
the way Kansas City has been playing, kind of not their normal self, and obviously by the way that Baltimore's been almost losing games.
yeah.
I mean, especially
What's
they
crazy is
just lost
their
one.
defense is as good. Their offense is as good as advertised in Baltimore,
Hmm.
but their defense is atrocious. Like,
Which is insane to think about because they had one of the top defensive units last year, and nothing's really changed.
no. As a matter of fact, they added their first two picks for both defensive players. Who one was projected to win Defensive Player of the Year, the linebacker. So,
Right.
you know,
Yeah, that's
interesting.
and Buffalo, uh, they're letting people score at will. So
Yes,
their instance is if we need to score more points than our opponent because we can't stop them either. So it almost begs the question: is who is the top team in the AFC? And we could be having a four-way tie for first right now.
right.
You know,
I mean, you got to throw in the Chargers right now
the
as a team
Chargers.
that's going. Wow, they're
Yeah,
3-0.
yeah, they struggled. They struggled against Denver, but again, Denver's a good team.
Right.
And I say struggle, but it's not really that much of a struggle. I mean, they beat them 23-20 at home in LA. Um, but I mean
The divisional game,
that's a
I mean,
divisional
you
game,
expect
right?
a tight game.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
But let's talk about this Minnesota and Cleveland or Cincinnati game real quick too. What? So here's we had talked about this briefly, and you had said immediately, and I said, "What is going on in Minnesota?" And you were like, "Defense, defense, defense." And you said that Minnesota's defense is just murdering up there.
They made two big deals in the offseason, so they don't have to blitz, so they can rush four and send seven back, and it's working wonders right now.
Yeah.
And their coach, by all means, should be a head coach in this league. Brian Flores, he's why the Steelers let him go, I don't know.
Well, here's the other
And
part about that, and I've been
you know,
hearing again. I hear all that stuff too about B flow, B flow, B flow. Maybe B flow just can't be a head coach. Maybe he can
oh,
be the most dominant DC that's ever been in the NFL. Maybe he just can't be a head coach.
great
Because
point, because some guys are made to be coordinators, some guys are made to be coaches. You're right on.
exactly, and maybe
Yeah,
this is his thing. He can be the highest paid DC that it's ever going to be because of the fact that
right.
his defenses are just you know somebody's going to pay him. I mean, if
Yes,
this is the way his
yes,
defense is turning out, somebody's going to pay him.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
they made Cincinnati look like fools,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah, and I mean, it didn't help that they're both running on backup quarterbacks either.
Right. But you made a good point though. Carson Wentz had a hell of a game.
Yeah, I didn't want that to happen, but it did.
Right. I mean, but again, a great coach with a veteran quarterback who
Man, you cannot ignore this right now, right? Kevin O'Donnell is probably the best head coach in the National Football League
is
by
scary.
by far,
What he's doing.
by
Right.
far. Not only that, but he took Sam Darnold, who was their backup, and went on a historic run. Now
Right.
he has a backup in Carson Wentz and massacres a team with them. So tell me why KOC shouldn't win NFL Head Coach of the Year, and it's week 3.
Yeah. Listen, a lot of questions right now after week 3 that I'm shaking my head with.
Right.
Um and that's one of them. Like this guy can win with anybody, it seems. You know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right.
So that it's pretty.
I
And let
guess.
me ask you
Yeah.
something. So, granted, it's only 1 week.
Right.
Their defense put up, astronomical numbers in fantasy in the game to shut down Cincinnati. Who,
Uh-huh.
by the way, Jamar Chase is not happy. T. Higgins
You
is
think?
not happy.
You think?
Chase Brown is non-existent. I
Mm.
mean, again, we talked about this last week. Cincinnati paid all that money to those three guys, but didn't pay a dime to their offensive line. Well, it's
Right.
showing.
Yeah.
It's
And
showing.
for anybody that's new listening, I said that you paid $300 million for your offense, but your offensive line you're paying $10 an hour for, and you would think it should be the other way around. You should be paying $300 million to your to your linemen and then filling in behind them. Because what's the point? You got Joe Burrow, who's been hurt now, what, 3 out of the last 5 years that he's played?
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
the guy's having a hard time staying healthy. And the reason why is because he doesn't have anybody in front of him protecting him. And on top of
Right.
that, if he is healthy, he doesn't have enough time to throw to anybody.
Right. Exactly.
So it's like, hey, I'm glad that you guys paid all this money to have this guy throw a ball that he doesn't have enough time to throw. He's throwing it 50 yards into the stands because he's got to throw the ball away because he's almost getting sacked every play.
Right.
It's insane. Um,
Yeah.
a couple other games here that kind of shocked me. Here's one for you: Jacksonville, Houston. Jacksonville comes out 17-10. Um, I think I'm off the bandwagon. I think C.J. Stroud is dead. I mean, what's going on?
Again, we're talking about a team with. He's bad right now. He's bad.
Right?
Missing guys left and right. He's
Yeah.
bad. Again, I don't know if it's him, but he's a part of the problem. But the offensive line is atrocious again. There,
Mm-hmm.
no sense of a running game. But that defense, who is so characteristic, I mean, opportunistic last year, not making plays when they need to. You know, and I was on a Jacksonville train earlier in the year saying they're a possible playoff team. They're beating teams like when they can, but Trevor Lawrence still doesn't look like that quarterback though.
Well, not to mention too, when we said it, when you predicted this early in the year, um, or at least thought that Jacksonville was going to go on a run here, we didn't expect Indianapolis to do what they're doing. So
right, exactly. I mean, not that I'm saying Jacksonville won't. They're 2-1. They're looking good right now, but Houston 0-3. If you're a Houston fan, you thought you were winning that division, walking away.
Oh, absolutely.
And right now, you're 0-2 in division alone. So good luck coming back from that.
You're third at best in your own division.
Right.
You know
right.
what I mean?
So, yeah.
So, yeah, that's going to be a tough hill to climb.
Another game that surprised me, just how it unfolded.
Mm-hmm.
So Philly beat the Rams 33-26.
Right.
It was 26-7 at one point.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're Sean McVay, you think
here's the two things that I take away from that. Number one, you got to put Philly away, and you need to put them away. If you let them hang around, now many would argue to say that they did put them away. It was 26-7. Nobody typically comes back from those type of numbers. Well, somebody did. It was called, and it was Nick Sirianni.
Right.
But the Rams can dominate, but they can't dominate. They can't dominate for 4 quarters. So there's an issue there. They started breaking down. And the other part of it that I was surprised about is, again, Philly being able to play from behind and not giving up. So, those were my 2 takeaways from that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. How the hell of a way to win a game though? Block kick return for a touchdown.
The end it. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. And that was how we ended up covering that game.
I know, which is pretty funny. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Pretty funny one. Yeah. Talk about bad beats. If you had the Rams, you thought you were shooing for a winner on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. How about this?
I think.
Go ahead.
The surprise of the week, in my opinion. I thought we talked about it. We talked about Atlanta and Carolina, but Cleveland beating the Green Bay Packers 13-10. Now you brought it up last week.
Yeah.
That defense is as good as advertised.
Yeah.
Now here's my issue. Jacobs is not the running back he was last year. Green Bay losing a few linemen hurt. They were down 3 linemen by the 4th quarter in that game. But Green Bay, if you're going to be a top-notch contender, you have to win these games.
Agreed.
Jordan Love did not play good. Their defense played well enough to win, but in the end, Cleveland went with a 55-yard field goal, to beat them. So, congratulations to the Browns.
So again, what you learned from that game is, number one, the Cleveland Browns defense should be respected at this point, right?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
The other thing about that you need to probably learn is that Cleveland is still struggling on offense, even though that they have some playmakers. I wouldn't say top notch or top tier playmakers, but they have playmakers, middle of the pack.
Yeah. A nice promising rookie running back, Judkins, looks pretty good.
barely was allowed to play. Might I add,
Right.
barely
Right.
allowed to play. I mean,
Right.
this kid's on probation from playing. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
we're not sure if we're gonna
Yeah.
let him play or not, and he finally was able to
Right.
play. But yeah, nobody ended up winning on defensive touchdowns. Here's two games real quick, and I'm going to talk about them briefly because, well, the one briefly, the other one probably dive in a little bit more of. Seattle routed the Saints, 44-13, routed them. That makes me go from 100% of dislike for Sam Darnold to 99%. So I still don't like him, but I'll give him 1% because they just route. Now again, they routed a bad team. Okay, it's just he's a bad team.
Probably the
But
worst team in the league.
right,
Yeah.
you hung 44 on him. That's to be respected in an NFL.
Right. Yes.
And then the other game to get into is the Chicago Bears and Dallas Cowboys. Now, CeeDee Lamb gets hurt in this game early, right? Gets hurt in the first
Yes.
quarter, tries to give it a go in the second quarter, can't do it. They pull him, high ankle sprain. Probably going to be missing at least 2 to 3 weeks, my guess. But the Bears seem to handedly take Dallas completely out of their game
Yes.
and
Surprising.
hang 31 on them.
Yeah.
To which you still are sitting here thinking, Jerry, what were you doing and letting Micah go? What was your plan in this?
Right. Right. Yeah. Here's my take on that game. Williams started the game off good, then fumbled there in the first drive. And then Caleb Williams, I'm not a big fan of his, you know this, but he made a throw in that first quarter to Odunze off his back foot, 62 yards in the air for a touchdown. It was the epitome of the game. He made throws finally in a game to win it, and Dallas could not
Right,
stop him. They had no answer. And the funny thing is, the Bears had no running game. Swift
right,
was show himself he's playing hurt, but Dallas had nothing going on. Dak kept missing passes, but in Dak's defense, he was running the whole game.
yeah,
Chicago had pressure on him constantly. Maybe it's an eye opener for the Chicago. Maybe they're going to start coming around. But the Cowboys better right the ship pretty quick though, because they look bad.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, big time. It looks like Kansas City woke up 22-9 on Sunday night. Um, this is where we enter Jackson Dart area, and we may have to rewind tape to see if my prophecy had totally come true when I said week 4, Jackson Dart's going to start.
you did, you know that one.
So here we are going into week 4, and they've already named Jackson Dart the starter for week
Let's
4.
add on to that. Cam Scattaboo.
Hey, what a stud. Now, granted, he's going to get a lot more going for him because Tracy ended up coming back out of the game and he's hurt again.
Right.
He was already playing hurt, so
Right.
Scatteroo was filling in. But hey, this is what the NFL is all about, right? Nobody knew that Tom Brady was Tom Brady until Drew Bledsoe went out, right?
Right. Right.
So here you go. Here's your time to shine, Scatteroo. And
Yep.
it looks like he's doing just that. Now, here's my thing. Russell Wilson isn't typically a runner unless he absolutely has to, right?
Right.
Is this going to hurt Scatteroo with Jackson Dart in there? Because he's a little bit more mobile.
Oh, he's an athlete. The kid can run for sure.
Right. So
the one thing I like about Scattaboo is his toughness.
okay.
So I think your goal line touches are going to be all him. But I'm with you on that aspect about his running. Because I don't know if he'll get the touches per se. Because if Dart sees an opening, maybe he tucks it and runs as opposed to dumping it off to Scattaboo. So
Or maybe even just planned quarterback sweeps.
good point. Well,
You know,
and Dable is known for that with Danny Dimes.
so if that's the case, take Jackson Dart on yardage, on rushing yards. Number one.
Right.
Number two, you might want to take a little. I still would start Scatteroo, obviously, but you start at this point. You want to start creeping into the doubt of if Scatteroo is going to see the production that he has.
Right.
you want to be a little bit cautious of that because I think that
Right.
down the line
Yeah,
he may
we'll
end
see
up.
if he's one of those guys that needs the touches too. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, and I think he is because the more that he gets into the game, the more he revs up, the more pumped up he gets. Boy, I
Right.
tell you what, he looks like an animal. He reminds me of Mike Allstott back in the day.
Yes. Yes. Totally.
You
Totally
know,
agree. Yeah.
so
Yep.
uh, and then Monday night,
And then
real
let's.
quick. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna go right into
Okay,
that, man.
yeah, and then on
It's
Monday
funny
night,
you said that.
yeah, Monday night we have
Wow.
Detroit and Baltimore, where again Baltimore ends up giving the game away at the end. Three fumbles by Derrick Henry in 3 weeks is
Yes. Big fumbles too.
is tied for his total all of last year. He
Wow.
has three fumbles all of last season, and he's tied that in the first 3 weeks. And like you said, they've all been in crucial points of the game.
Yeah. Yep. Weird too right now. Uh. Lamar's a stud. He's something else. The weird thing, he's playing well, but he's not. Zay Flowers was pretty non-existent in that game. He did use
Yeah,
Mark Andrews
he
and
used
Rashad Bateman.
he used Bateman a lot too. I was just about to say.
Yes.
Mark Andrews finally is not allergic to catching the ball for touchdowns. It seems
Yeah.
that way. So
Yeah.
that's a plus.
Yeah.
That's a plus.
But let's talk about again that defense or lack of defense from Baltimore.
Right.
Wow.
Right. And again, though, again, this goes into it too, right? Because Sonic and Knuckles, aka Jamar Gibbs and Montgomery, tore it up on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I think Gibbs had just under 100
Yep.
rushing, and Montgomery, thanks, buddy. I loved you for fantasy. You were awesome. 151 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Both of them had 2 touchdowns, by the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a monster of a game on the ground for Detroit. So it seems as if that their offensive line is probably top notch in the NFL, right?
Yeah. That week one loss to Green Bay seems like a long time ago from Detroit right now.
Well, it almost seems like a fluke at this point.
It does because they completely dominated the Bears, embarrassed them 52-14 or
So let's
50-21, and then against a team where I didn't think they would beat Baltimore,
right,
they took it to them. They took
right.
it to them.
No,
So
well, let's put it this way. You did actually, well, you took them on the points, I think is what happened because you ended up taking Detroit, and I took Detroit
yeah,
as well.
I took them to cover the points. I didn't think they'd win
Right.
though.
Which they were getting
Yes.
4.5. They were getting 4.5.
Right.
So we took the points on it. But anyway, what we need to be asking ourselves is, Detroit, first game of the year, they get kind of pounded, and then on the flip side, the team that pounded them loses to Cleveland.
Right.
So was the first week a fluke on both ends?
Right. Right.
Something to think
Yeah.
about going forward.
Yeah. So a couple of takeaways after you see all these games, besides us going over them.
Mm-hmm.
Who are the Kansas City Chiefs?
Right.
Sure, they won 22-9, but not very impressive whatsoever. Patrick Mahomes, there's something missing there. Now, granted, they're going to get back Xavier Worthy pretty quick, maybe this week. I'm not sure. And then Rice in 3 more weeks, week 6. After that, he's back. But Travis Kelce doesn't look the same. There's no running game.
Before you go any further than that, Travis
Yeah.
Kelce and Andy Reid have been getting into it on the sidelines the last 2
You're
or
right.
3 weeks.
You're right. You're right.
We having trouble in paradise there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
True.
Travis Kelce just can't seem to shake it off.
Right. Yeah.
Taylor Swift. Nobody got it. It's okay.
Another impressive performance was Marcus Mariota.
Yeah. 41-24. Yeah. I think that's more or less the defensive, thing that you got going on there. Because again, the Raiders, we kind of expected a little bit more from as far as their offense goes.
Right.
And we didn't get that. And it turns out that Washington had a field day with them.
Well, I just noticed. I didn't realize this. They ran for 201 yards. The Commanders. Wow.
Almost said it. So yeah, not as good of an outing that the Raiders had that we all thought they could
Right.
have. We actually thought that the Commanders were going to take a step back because Mariota
Right.
was going to be under center. Well, it goes to show you that it doesn't matter who's under center there; they can roll the ball, kind of
Right.
like kind of like Minnesota with KOC.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very interesting in that one. So
So let's
yeah,
talk a little about our guys. 21-14 win against New England.
uh,
Um,
so a win that we shouldn't have had because there was plenty of opportunity to put the team away. And on the flip side of that, I guess the defense finally woke up because they had 5 turnovers.
right. Two big plays in the red zone
Yeah.
won that game.
Listen, I keep saying it. You got to turn your field goals into touchdowns, right? I mean, we seen it last week especially because there was
Right.
a handful of times that they got on the plus side of the field, and we're kicking field goals instead of scoring touchdowns. You can't have that happen, especially with the turn.
Right.
I mean, again, 5 turnovers and we got 21 points.
Right. I
We
know.
got we
I
got
know.
problems. We got problems. We got big problems.
We do. We do. And I tell you, the one problem we don't have is Aaron Rodgers because he has no time throwing, so he didn't take a sack, but he was getting rid of that ball. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
he was one
Right.
of the positives from that game,
Right. Not to
in my
mention,
opinion.
I mean, we can't have DK only getting 3 targets, 4 targets a game.
Exactly.
Three catches for I think 34 yards or something like that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Come on.
no, like he should be the one that's stretching the field. You should be throwing deep balls to him. You should be throwing
Right.
underneath balls or slot balls to uh to Austin
Calvin Austin.
he
Yeah.
can get up the middle and just
Right.
torch the linebackers. I don't know. Those are my
Yeah.
thoughts.
Yeah. The one positive on defense besides the turnovers, Derek Harmon's presence helped. I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
So
he
this
played
is
35 snaps and he
yeah
played pretty well.
this is his first game back since the preseason.
Right.
And while he was in, I think you said 35 snaps he was on.
Yeah.
While he was in, the rushing was only 2.2 yards per attempt, which
Right.
fantastic. That's
Right.
great.
Plus he had a sack too.
Yeah.
I mean, and then the addition to the starting lineup of Cole Holcomb taking Peyton Wilson out helped the run stopping game. So,
right.
But overall, lucky to get a win. I was sitting there at 14-14 going, what are we doing here? We should be blowing this team out.
Yep. Which is kind of ironic too, because I talking about again another team that we had high aspirations for in New England, and they couldn't put us away.
No. Matter of fact, they gave us the ball too many times.
Right.
Drake May with that pick in the end zone, and then both running backs fumble.
Enough.
So
Daddy's on live. But Russell, get down to a volume 5.
I thought they'd give Warren more touches again. They gave Gainwell scored at the end zone, which is fine. Oddity for me was they called up Trey Sermon. They activated him, didn't use him. I thought maybe for a change of pace guy to get the running game started, maybe they would have gave him some carries. But again, the offensive line is getting pushed around again. 2 times I saw Rodgers get pressured, and 77 just standing straight up, man. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, just getting run by, So, definitely have to fix that problem, man. Definitely.
Well, we got a long flight and a tough team ahead of us. So
yes, very tough game this week. Yeah.
I would hope that it's Wednesday. I would hope that either tonight, tomorrow, certainly not Friday. Like, get over there as fast as possible so you can start getting acclimated to the time change. You know what I mean? That's what I would do. So.
Well, funny you say that. So the Steelers wanted to fly out Sunday night. The NFL said no.
Oh, really?
You can only leave the earliest till Wednesday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I guess the last time the Steelers played overseas, they flew in on us on the night of their game,
Mm,
and the team they played was the Vikings. Crazy enough, and the Vikings came over on a Thursday, and the Steelers beat them. And the Vikings said that they were still exhausted by the time the game came.
right.
So now they're making both teams fly no earlier than Wednesday. So that's pretty interesting.
Well, I hope
So
I hope they were able to leave as soon as that clock struck whatever time it was. They had wheels up.
you got that right.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean? So hopefully
I'm
that
happy.
happened.
I'm happy that we have our bye week next week too because of that. So
Yeah, I'm not a fan of bye weeks early though. It always
well, I'm
seems
not.
like
I
at the
usually
end of the
hate them,
year.
but I think I've always thought that the teams have a hangover when they're coming from overseas.
Yeah.
You know, so
Now,
but it hasn't
granted,
hasn't
yeah,
happened with the Chargers though.
oh,
So
apparently not. Let them just keep riding that high.
right,
But yeah, I just look at it for more or less the injury aspect of it. You know,
yeah,
we're gonna
yeah.
need that. I guarantee we're gonna need that by around the 12 mark,
I was
not
gonna
the
say week 12, week 13.
yeah,
Yeah, I'd like to
not
later
the
by myself.
not the 5 mark. You know, so
Yeah,
so let me just get into real quick our stats over the week, and then we can jump right into college. So our NFL stats against the spread: Matt was 5-11, Mike you were 10-6, and I was also 5-11. So you did good against the spread. We all did not. Over unders, Matt did pretty well, 10-6. You mediocre, 8-8, and I went 6-10. So
Hmm.
obviously, I think I'm looking at the fact that my over unders are not my strong suit.
right, right.
So overall, and just against the spreads, um, Matt's got 21, you got 25. I also have 25. Over unders, no surprise, I'm the lowest at 22. Matt at 26, and you were at 27. So we're looking at 56% for you, 54 for him, 46 for me on the against the spreads. Me and you are both tied for 52, 25 and 25, and he is at 44. So overall, me and Matt are tied 47 wins and 49 losses, and you are at the top with 52 wins and 44 losses. So not bad, not bad.
Yeah,
I think as we start getting close, further and further here into the week, we're going to start seeing those numbers kind of get pretty dense here. So,
yep,
um, you know, getting out to a large lead early helped, but now it's going to be like kind of unless
yeah.
you
I
have
agree.
like just completely bomb weeks or completely kill weeks, kind of just going
Right.
to stay where we're at pretty much.
Yep.
So with that being said, let's jump into college. I got a lot of news here coming out of college. Number one, let me start out with Oklahoma. They don't end up making our list this week, but their quarterback, which was a Heisman hopeful, and Mater or Mateer, I think it's Mateer. He's out for a couple weeks.
Hand surgery.
He's got to have surgery on his hand, which is going to hopefully hopefully they can get him back a lot sooner. But boy, that's going to hurt them going down
It
the
is.
stretch here.
It is.
I think what were they, number 11? Um,
Yeah, I think so.
that might change, depending on who they have in the backup or anything like that. That could hurt them bad, and it's sad to see
Yeah.
because they were starting to get in their groove and they were starting to roll here. And this kid, like I said, he was a Heisman hopeful early on here, so you know that's gonna hurt him in the long run here too. um, uh, Good news, if you're a Pitt fan, you should know this, that they're going to be retiring Aaron Donald's jersey.
Yes, against Notre Dame. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
against Notre Dame. I did read that.
Yeah. Yeah.
When is that? What game is that? Is that
October
this
12th.
weekend?
October
Okay,
12th.
so we got a couple more weeks for that.
Yeah.
All right.
About time, by the way.
Well, you could say that. And then before we also get into these games, let's talk about Mike Gundy getting fired from
Ooh.
Oklahoma State.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was, Christ, he was there for so long, 20 some years, I think he was there, or
Yeah.
something like that.
Crazy.
Yeah, very, very long tenure at at Oklahoma State, and
Yeah.
obviously are not off to the last, a good start like they haven't been. I think last year they were also
Yeah, they got
just as bad.
they got beat this year 69-3 by Oregon, and then
Yeah.
followed up losing to Tulsa, which you don't lose at Tulsa if you're Oklahoma State.
No.
So the writing was on the wall. They need to make the change. It makes sense. From what I'm reading, there's going to be they have a list of 5 guys who are top coordinators around the country that could be looking at this job. Even what North Texas head coach. So they're going to get a good guy to replace him. But you know, Oklahoma State, they recruit well, so I don't think it'll take them long to get back, into prominence soon.
Right. Right. So, but yeah, definitely something to keep in mind as we go into this weekend and looking at games and stuff like that. So, yeah. But since we're talking about games, let's talk about our first one. Number 21 USC going to number 3 Illinois, fighting Illini. Um, and the bad part about this game is that we're not going to get a starting quarterback in this game for Illinois. He's out for the year. He tore his Achilles, which is a huge blow to Illinois, and you know may end up hurting them very, very hard
Right.
going down the stretch here. Because again, you know, they were moving the ball, they were having good success, especially early on here. They were beating some good teams, and now they're going to start struggling going down the stretch, especially with their number one guy being out and being out for the year
Yeah.
too. So now they got to try to figure out how in the world to get their backup, who I don't even know who it is, to be honest with you.
Right.
Hopefully he's just as good a quarterback as their starter was, Steve Agnelli. He was second in the nation in passing yards, though. Second
Wow.
in the nation in passing yards.
Wow.
And he's out for the season. So, I mean, it's just.
Well, let me tell you, how Indiana put it on him last week. I don't think it would have mattered if he'd have been there all game, regardless. Because that kid Mendoza, he might be the best quarterback in the country from
Okay.
Indiana right now.
Yeah. So, I'm just pulling up the spreads and everything right now. So we're looking at USC is going to be given 6.5, which
Okay.
probably is appropriate given this. And the over under is 60.5.
60
So
and a half?
60, 60.5, 60.5. So obviously I think if you're intelligent enough, you should know where you should be going in this aspect. Um, I'm going USC because I don't think the Illinois Fighting Illini can bounce back from their starting guy going down. I don't think the offense is going to look the same. Um, you know, hopefully their defense is still decent, but which they should be. But that morale, the energy in that building probably deflated when they found out that their guy done here. So that's where I'm going. As far as over under is concerned, 60.5. Boy. I'm gonna go under on this. That just seems way too high, especially for. I mean, we're still talking about two top 25 teams here. So I think 60.5 is too high. So I'm gonna go under on this one.
Okay. So you're going USC in the under?
Yes, USC in the under.
Okay. Boy, without their starting quarterback, I'm definitely on USC
Right.
with you for sure. I'm gonna take. Boy, that's 60 and a half. Wow.
That's a lot of points.
That's a big number.
That's a lot of points.
That's a big number. Boy, give me USC as well, and I'm going to take the over in that one.
Okay. Probably not a bad idea because who knows. But I would have to think that USA might do all the scoring in this one.
Right. Well, I could see them putting up at least 40. So I'm banking on Illinois scoring 3 touchdowns. So we'll see.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. So the next game I have is the Magnolia Bowl, which is LSU and Ole Miss. Number 4 LSU going into number 13 Ole Miss. And just for the record, USC leads that series 11-2 against the Illini. LSU leads this series 66-43-4.
Wow.
Yeah. And the number on that is a pick 'em. This is a pick 'em.
Wow.
This is Ole Miss is giving a 1.5. And
Okay.
the over under is 55.5. So
55.5.
yes, triple
Okay.
fives. So I'll let you take this one.
All right, I'm taking Mrs. Ole Miss in this one.
Okay.
I don't trust Brian Kelly. He won his big game for this year already against Notre Dame. And it's two good quarterbacks again. I'm gonna take the under in this one though.
Okay. So, well, I just wrote under instead of your name. So I'm going to take the over in this game because you said they're two good teams. But there's a reason why LSU is number 4 in the nation. I don't know what that reason is yet, but
Their quarterback.
Nussmeier, which
And not to mention their cornerback U. They have 3 guys that are probably gonna be number 1 picks in the next 2 years.
okay.
So yeah.
So yeah, although I agree with you, Brian Kelly is kind of a shite head coach as of late.
Yeah.
He also I think he got hit twice this past weekend on the sideline too. He got ran over.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take LSU. I just think that the superior team in this case was going to win. Not to mention, I think LSU's fired up. I think if I'm not mistaken, they came off a pretty passionate win this past weekend as well. So I'm going to go with LSU.
You're taking LSU and the over. Okay.
I'm going to take LSU with the points, even though it's only a 1.5, and the over. Yes.
Okay.
So one game next on the docket, which I fear because it's number 6 Oregon coming into number 3 Penn State in a whiteout. I need to make sure I add that. It is a whiteout in Happy Valley, and I hope it stays happy after this weekend. But I know James Franklin. Let me just tell you that even though Penn State leads this series 3-2 that they've played, however, Franklin, on the other hand, is terrible against big games and top 25 opponents. Let me just tell you, 17 of 26. He's, well, not of 26, but 17 and 26 and top 5 or top 25. Okay.
Let me go you one step further.
I'm not done. I'm not done telling you how terrible he is. Okay. Let me finish how terrible he is. Okay. He's 4-20 against top 10 opponents, which happens to be Oregon. But you could probably argue that Oregon could be in the top 5. Well, let me tell you how bad he is in the top 5. He is 1 of 15, 1 and 15 against top 5 opponents. I know a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while, but it ain't this weekend in Happy Valley. I hate to do it, but I got to because I can't stand James Franklin. I'm going with Oregon, and I'm going with the over 51.5.
So what's the spread? 3.5?
The spread is 3.5. Penn State is giving 3.5, and the over is 51.5. Yeah. If I didn't say that earlier, I apologize. I was too hyped up.
Right. So I'll add to your knowledge you just gave me there.
Okay.
Versus top 10 opponents in the regular season, he's 0-14, which is amazing.
Awesome.
Which I'm not shocked by, but it's sad with the talent he's had in that squad. It's amazing.
Right. So a little nugget just popped into my head that I heard earlier too, is that I think there's 136 FBS teams. If I'm not
there
mistaken.
are. Yeah. Right.
136 teams.
Yeah.
Our offense ranks in about 131 out of 136 of those teams.
Wow.
Look it up. It's out
crazy.
there. I'm almost positive. Drew Aller's point yardage or something like that is 135 or 134 out of 136. And this is now granted, looking at the last game that they played when it was only like 20-3 at halftime, right?
Yeah.
Our starting offense was out there the entire time. against
Right. Villanova.
Villanova. We should have blew the doors off of them.
Yeah.
Struggled.
Yeah.
Struggled.
Well, here's my question.
Okay.
Here's my question as a non-Penn State fan, but
Sure.
I always think they're talented as hell.
I do too.
Is it because they're playing vanilla this year that their offense is so bad right now?
I don't. Their offense reminds me of Matt Canada's offense.
Oh, okay.
They don't push the ball. Rarely do they push the ball. It always seems like they're going underneath. It just looks like they struggle with doing the most mundane things.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they have two great running backs. They have two great running backs.
Two stud running backs. I totally agree.
Right.
My problem is I can't name a wide receiver that scares you.
No, they're one wide receiver that they had last year that had over 1,000 yards receiving.
He transferred, didn't he?
Transferred out.
Right.
Right.
That scares me because I can't name any wide receivers, and to me, you need a wide receiver to separate,
Right.
And maybe that's why this offense is so sluggish because they don't have those guys that can do that,
know.
So you kind of just, as a Penn State fan, I think you kind of just I was ready to pick Penn State in this game.
I don't trust
so
Franklin.
You took Oregon in the under or over?
Over.
Oregon over.
No, listen. I win either way, right? Because if I pick Oregon and they win, I win. If I pick Oregon and they lose, I win because my team won, right?
Yeah.
I just don't think that's going to happen.
You just swayed me. I didn't know how bad that offense was. And to beat Oregon, you're going to have to score some points.
Yeah.
So
you're going to have to move the ball.
I'm going with you now on the Oregon pick. I'm going to take Oregon in the under, though.
Okay.
Just because I think Oregon's fast and their defense. If Penn State wins this game, it seems to me it's got to be like a 27-20 game. And Oregon.
I think if Penn State wins this game, it's going to be like a 23-22 game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But I can see their defense keeping them in it though, because their defense is that good.
Right. So I mean, realistically, if Penn State does win this game's going to be like 62-60. You know what I mean? It's just going to keep going back and forth, and overtime and going for 2-pointers. But I don't trust them. I don't trust Franklin. Right. I don't trust their offense right now. I mean, in the 3 games that they played, that they should have been beating teams handedly. On paper, it looks like they did. The problem is, if you look at if you watch those games, those points weren't scored. More than half of those points weren't scored until like the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, because who's at Nevada you guys played?
Yeah.
That was actually a close game into the 3rd quarter.
Right.
So
that's the scary stuff. And if you're having a hard time getting things moving in the first half, you're probably already buried for the second half.
Yeah. So and Oregon scares me because they haven't hit their stride yet, and they're still putting up 60 a game. Right. Against Oregon State, who's their rival, which is that's crazy. So
yeah, these are supposed to be tune-up. Their first 3 games were supposed to be tune-ups, and it didn't look like they tuned anything up.
Right.
So the last game on this docket here is number 17 Alabama going into number 5 Georgia, and that spread is Georgia is giving 3.5 to Kalen DeBoer and the Alabama Crimson Tide, and the over-under is set at 52.5. So you can go ahead first on this one.
Okay, 51.5, you said?
Yes, 52.5. Sorry.
52.5. So I want to pick Georgia, but I can't. That hook the 3.5. I think these two teams are. Alabama's quarterback has played 2 fantastic games since their loss opening week. I'm going Bama in this one, and I'm going to take the over in Alabama in this one.
Okay. I'm going to take the over as well. So let's start there. So little tidbits that I have about this game. Alabama leads this series 43, 26, and 4. Now, part of that record was under Nick Saban, and he went 8-2 versus Georgia. But Nick Saban's not there anymore. But the one time that DeBoer and Smart played was last year, and DeBoer won that game. But I think that this game and this team is totally different. I think Georgia is back. I think Alabama is still trying to find it. Not only that, but I think Kalen DeBoer is still trying to find it. Not to mention, let's not forget that 2 weeks ago they were ready to pay Kalen DeBoer $60 million to get him out of there and buy him out on his contract. So,
True. After they beat that stinker, you're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah. So again, like you said, hopefully that was a fluke, and their quarterback has figured it out, and they're getting ready to roll here. But I'm going to still go with the superior team, I believe, in Georgia, and I'm going to take Georgia and the over because I think they are going to score some points in this game. So that leads us into our super dogs, which I need to find mine again, just in case that something has changed, which I don't think it has. So if you have one off the top of your head, you can fire it away.
I do. Okay. I do. So my super dog this week is a team that I think is getting a little too much, even though they're going into SEC territory. I think it's just a little too much. I think they have an offense that can keep up with them. I'm taking Utah State getting 20. Let me see, where is it? Let's see. Utah State goes into Vanderbilt, and they are getting 22.5.
Yep, I just found it. 22.5.
Whenever the teacher tells us when your picture day is, we will get them done.
Vanderbilt.
But we have to get you a tooth first.
Okay, so
they're playing Vanderbilt.
Yep,
so that's my super dog.
All right, so I'll give you mine, which I typically don't like to do this, but I just thought this was probably a good time to do it. I'm going to go against Oklahoma. Well, actually, I'm going with Oklahoma State. They're getting 20.5. They're getting 20. No, I picked them. I'll tell you this. I did pick them before Mike Gundy got fired yesterday because I looked through this, I perused through it, and I felt that this was a good one. But now I love it even more that Mike Gundy got fired because it typically, now let me start here. Oklahoma's playing Vanderbilt. Oklahoma State's playing Baylor.
Baylor.
Yeah. It's they're playing Baylor. It's in Oklahoma State. And Oklahoma State is getting 20.5.
Right.
Now I'll tell you why I like it even more is because it seems like any team out, I'm sure there's stats on this. I've seen the stats on it. It actually isn't as good as I think it is. But typically, teams that after losing a prominent figure end up playing better under another head coach or offensive coordinator or anything like that because there's a different mindset. The guys want to win one for the new guy, those type of things. I think they're going to have a little bit more fire in their belly playing this game than they had before with Mike Gundy at the helm. I just think it's going to be one of those things where it's like, hey, we want to go out there and, right the ship now. And they're going to have new leadership and they're going to be motivated. So I think it's going to be Oklahoma State that's going to end up maybe not winning, but definitely putting out a cover. So that's my wish. That's my hope. So I got Oklahoma State at 20.5. And at this point in time, Matt has 45.5 points. Mike, you have 31 points. And I have goose eggs. I'm still walking around with a 0.
Right, you're 0-2. Matt's 1-1. I'm 2-0. But Matt had that big win on week 1.
He had a massive win. Not only did he cover 15.5, but his team also won by 25.
That's crazy.
So it's really hard to do that.
You can't, right. That's tough to come back from. That's tough.
Yeah, that's super tough. So he ended up striking gold. He ended up falling into a bucket of shit and coming out smelling like a rose somehow.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So, all right. I think that is what we needed to talk about as far as college is concerned. Let's dive into the one game that we're not going to get a chance to talk about on Friday when we meet, and that is our Thursday night game for the NFL. Seattle Seahawks going into Arizona to face the Cardinals on Thursday night, 15. Now, I'm pulling up our scores here. If they're going to pull up for me, they will. So, right off the bat, what are you thinking, Mike? Even before even seeing any of these numbers?
I think this game's close to being a pick 'em. I would think. I don't even know. 1.5, 2.5, maybe.
Boy, you're
I don't
dead
know.
on. You are dead on, my friend. Now, who's getting? I'll give you the hint here. Who's getting that 1.5? Because that's what it is. 1.5.
Because of the injury, I'm going to say Seattle's giving Arizona points because Connor's hurt.
Bingo.
That'd be my call.
Arizona is getting a 1.5 at home against the Seattle Seahawks, and the over/under is set at 43.5.
43.5.
43.5. So while you're writing that down, let me just tell you a little bit. The Cardinals are on a 7-game win streak against the Seattle Seahawks. Darnold last year, when he was playing with the Vikings versus the Cards, only beat them by 1, and he had a better team. So he beat them 23-22. And Murray, in his career against Seattle, is only 2-8.
Wow. I did see something. Seattle's won 7 straight in this series.
Yeah,
I read that, I think, Monday. Seattle's won 7 straight in this series.
Yes.
Now, totally different teams. It really doesn't matter, but that's in divisional games. That's crazy. Usually splits are common, especially when one team hasn't been dominant. And if you think about that, Arizona and Seattle, who's been the better team the last 4 years? I guess Seattle. I don't know.
But if you think about the last 4 years, it wasn't any. It was Geno there.
Right. So, I mean, that's tough. That's tough. Wow. And no James Conner, man, that's big for Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Trey Benson era now, I guess, in Arizona.
Right.
Because I tell you what, that's gonna be a tough injury for him to come back from, James Conner.
Now, if I were, I was going to say, I knew it was an ankle. It was a dislocated ankle, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he tear anything? Do we know that?
Not that I've heard yet.
Okay.
No, I haven't heard anything yet. I know it was an ankle. They didn't say the severity of it, but it didn't look. Listen, to get carted off, that's not good. And his injury history, at Pitt, with the Steelers, I don't know, man. He's up there in age. It could be his last hurrah. So,
well, speaking of last hurrah, well, we can talk about that here in a little bit, but we'll go back to it. With Russell Wilson might be in his last hurrah.
Oof.
Getting benched for Jackson Dart, like we talked about earlier, and everything like that. But the only thing that we didn't talk about was the fact that, Russell Wilson on the butt end of that is probably close to retirement.
So crazy. Funny thing, before we came on, I saw a crazy trade rumor where it doesn't make any sense to me that the Saints are looking to trade for Russell Wilson. Why?
I mean, at this point, why not? The Saints have nothing to lose, and the Giants can just end up getting some type of capital, whether it's a draft.
Well, if you're the Giants, that's a great move. But if I'm the Saints, I'm looking at number 1 overall. I don't want to ruin that. Let Rattler and Tyler Schwab play.
Well, again, you drafted Tyler to
play.
So let him play.
Right.
What's the worst thing that's going to happen? He's going to win you a couple games, and you're going to pick 5th instead of 1st.
Right.
Okay.
You're going to go. Yeah.
I mean, that seems like an easy thing to me. Now, you as
Talk
a
about a team who needs everything.
yeah, you as
You
an
know, Bernard's
organization,
probably was his last year there.
mhm,
You know,
you as an organization need to say to yourself, do we really want to give up a draft pick for somebody
right,
who we're not going to use after this year's over?
right, right.
You know,
Yes,
so I mean, I could see them doing it just for saving face to the fans
right,
that they're
right,
going out and trying to do something.
right,
But and I mean, because we're talking about week 4, and you're gonna say that you gave up in week 4 so you can get the number 1 overall pick. Wow,
right.
that's kind of crazy to think about. But anyway, let's go back to Seattle and Arizona, our Thursday night game. Now, again, we've already talked about Arizona is going to get a point and a half, and the over/under is set at 43 and a half. Just gave these stats out. Hawks are on a 7-game win streak. Murray's only 2-8 career versus Seattle. You want to go a little bit further and talk about Darnold. He barely beat them last year with a better team, 23-22. So this is I think on paper you would say that this is a tough game to pick, but after the last couple weeks, I don't think it's as hard as you may think it is. Granted, it's a short week, but me, I'm leaning towards Mister Dummy up in Seattle winning this game for them. I'm still not 100% on Kyler Murray. I think he's mediocre at best. The fact that he's basically throwing the football with his eyes closed because he can't see over the line, and he's throwing to spots, which he's hoping somebody's going to be there. He's talked about this. I don't have any hope for Arizona with Kyler Murray as their quarterback. I really don't.
Not to mention, can we talk about? I know you guys mentioned the top 5 I was reading. Most disappointing players are going to bounce back. Can we right now say Marvin Harrison Jr. is a disappointment? I mean, is it because of the quarterback play? But I don't know. I don't know if his targets, his stats, but the guy when he came in this league, I thought he was a surefire upgrade for that team. But man,
Right.
he's done nothing to change my mind that he's a huge disappointment there. You know?
Well, and again, we just talked about how Kyler Murray is basically throwing to spots, and because he can't really see anything, so that you kind of have to take that into consideration a little bit too. Um, that quite possibly he can't see him to throw it to him.
True.
You know, so you ask about targets for Harrison, and here's his targets over the last 3 weeks: 6, 5, and 6. Of those targets, his best game came in week 1, where he caught 5 of 6 for 71 yards and a touchdown. They also happened to win that game. Now, they also played Carolina the following week in week 2. They also won that game, but Marvin only had 2 catches for 27 yards. And then last week, just this past week, they lost to San Francisco 16-15, might add.
Yeah.
And
Ugly game.
out of those 6 targets, he caught 3 of them for 44.
You need more from a guy you draft number 1. I'm sorry. Especially top 10.
I'm not
You
disagreeing.
need more.
I'm not disagreeing whatsoever. Do I call him a
Right.
bust? Do I call him a bust yet?
I'm not saying
I
a
don't know.
bust. I'm just saying disappointment galore.
Oh yeah,
And
for
I
sure.
don't see him. I don't see a change. I don't see a switch going. Wow, it's time for him to turn it on. I just think it's that offense, like you said.
I think
Him, Kyler Murray throwing the spots. I think he's very comfortable with Trey McBride.
because he can probably see him.
Yeah, true. And he was comfortable throwing to running backs
because he could see them.
Right. And for some reason, am I wrong by saying this? He doesn't scramble that much anymore. His game's kind of changed.
and that could be the reason why that it doesn't. I mean, they're 2-1 on the year, but you know they beat a bad team and they lost to a mediocre team.
Right.
You know, so
And in beating the bad team, if I'm not mistaken, they scored 2 defensive touchdowns, put up points. So
right.
I mean,
I'm not
their
sure.
offense. I mean, they've been winning games with defense as opposed to offense,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of worries me from a car. You know, so
I mean, the more that we talk about this, the more that I'm solidifying the fact that I'm taking the Seahawks in this one. And it's basically a pick 'em. So, I just have to worry about a point and a half, which not many NFL games end in a point. I say that in week 1 we had
they
41
lost
40,
16-15. Yeah.
and last week we had 16-15. So yeah, that hook. But I don't think this game is going to end in, a point, considering that
Right.
Seattle just hung 44 on St. Louis or on the Saints in
Right.
New Orleans. As far as the over/under, I'm going over. Seattle just dropped 44 on New Orleans, so I'm going to go over on this one.
Okay. I'm with you on Seattle. Definitely
Okay.
taking them. I think both defenses are really good, so I'm taking the under in this one.
Okay. Kind of had a feeling you were going that way, but yeah, it'll be interesting for this game. I mean, last year we had a lot of duds on prime time.
We did.
Especially especially on Thursday.
Thursday nights, man.
They're tough. It's a short week. They're tough. Players hate them.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of players say that they can't stand Thursday night games.
Right.
So,
you know who this Loveland is for the
but
yeah.
We'll see. This I mean, again, this is a divisional game. It's going to be an important game.
Right.
So this still should end up shaking out to be a pretty good.
Oh, I think it's going to be a good game. Yeah.
This will be able to give us a true test, because typically we only watch highlights of these teams' plays and stuff like that. Except for Seattle, we actually saw Seattle in person not too long ago, but now we'll get to see Arizona on prime time, so we'll be able to see actually what this offense looks like. Now, again, we talked about, it without James Conner, but still, we'll get an idea of how this offense looks and how this defense shakes out, and we can either say, "Yep, I expected that," or "Wow, that really surprised me."
Yeah.
So, but if that's all we have there, Mike, I think that's it.
I think that's all we got. Yeah, I think we covered everything. We went over college.
I'll have to.
So college. I had a good week last week in college. I had a very good week.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that real quick before we jump out of here. Let's go to college week 5, or no, week 4, and we talked about how you got your super dog, and let's talk about your over/unders and your against the spreads. Your against the spreads, your picks 3-1, 3 wins, 1 loss. Your over/under spotless, 100%, 4-0. Matt was horrible. He went 2 for 6. He had 1-3 on the picks and 1-3 on over/under, and I didn't do bad. I 50'd my over/under, so I did 2-2, and my picks I was right with you. It was 3-1. So that puts overall against the spread. Matt is still reigning supreme at 10-7. Mike, you're at 8-9. I'm at 9-8. And over/unders, you're killing everybody. You're killing everybody in over/unders. Matt's 7-10. You are 12-5. I am 4-13. I am terrible at over/unders.
Wow, your over/unders are bad.
Oh, terrible, especially in college. Matt, he's at 50%, 17-17. Mike, you're 20-14, and I am 13-21 in overall college standings. That is to date.
Yeah, I had a great week last week in college. I went to $5 bets for $78 and one for 45. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
100
great
and
week.
$115 for what, 20 bucks?
If there is a force fumble,
Yeah,
10
yeah,
bucks? Yeah, not bad at
yeah.
all.
Then I lost a $5 one in the pros.
Mm,
in the game,
With that, I forget what game it was.
in the game.
I lost it right away. So
yeah, that's
yeah,
tough.
I can't remember
Tough.
which game. Oh, I think the one I thought I would lose, the Jets. That's another team we didn't talk about. Baker. Baker just keeps slinging
If
and
you're
he keeps
off,
winning.
It's tough not to like Baker. It is
I
tough
love him.
player,
I
not to
love
like
him.
Baker,
like a young
which,
team,
you know,
and your teammate
it goes
gets
back
yardages,
to what was Cleveland thinking
if
in letting
you
this kid
block a
go?
player
He
and
was
your
your
You
franchise
teammate
know,
quarterback.
gets a
I
touchdown,
was thinking about that. He wasn't bad there.
No,
tackle
let's
him,
not forget the last year he was there, he took them to
if
the
you get a
Playoffs.
to the
touchdown,
playoffs.
Right.
They won a game in the playoffs,
Right.
you get a quarterback.
Right.
and
If you
they
tackle
say
the quarterback,
that was good.
you
Thanks.
sack the
Get
quarterback,
out. What?
$20.
Right.
What are you talking
If
about?
you get an interception,
Tampa Bay
It's
is
amazing.
like Tampa
$20.
Bay is another one of those teams. It's like, you fall into a bucket of shit, you come out smelling like a rose. Let's not forget
Yeah.
he journeyed around the NFL almost.
You're gonna
He goes from Cleveland, then he goes down to Carolina,
for your road.
which
Right.
he didn't do well down in Carolina. Let's
With
just say
Sam
that.
Darnold as backups.
Right.
Yeah.
And he didn't do well down there. He didn't.
No.
Okay.
No.
Then he gets shipped out to go and play the same
You
day
get a goal,
for
$10
the
road.
Rams
If you
in
get
LA,
Right.
wins that game,
$5.
Right.
and then has to travel all the way down to Tampa Bay the next year.
And you get a goal.
Right.
And then that's where
See
we're
what I
at.
mean?
He stays in
Kinda
Tampa.
like you're
I mean,
building up.
Yep.
boy, I'll tell you what.
You get that
So real quick, did you see any of his press conference last week?
Oh, when he was talking about Mbuka, and he was like, "Don't
Yeah.
don't disrespect."
Disrespecting his passes.
I thought that was good. Now
You gotta love that.
let's talk about this Mbuka. Dude's a stud.
Man. Stud.
Dude's a stud.
Stud.
The only problem
So
is I think
no, Evans
he's
is hurt
questionable.
now.
Yeah, I know, but I think Mbuka's questionable as well.
Yeah, he is. He is with a back injury, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know, but it's not going to be a good week if they got all those players out. Not to mention, I just saw that Godwin, it was a full participant today in practice. So
Against Eagles, that's a tough
Yeah.
week.
yeah,
You come out with Evans and it's a tough week.
I mean, this might be one of those weeks you just go, hey, take a break. We'll just take this L.
Right.
You know what I mean? We'll just take this
Yeah,
L.
absolutely.
It may be a conference game, but it's not a divisional game. We'll just take this L.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can't imagine, having the best team come in and try to play the best team and then throw Godwin in there, like just coming off of his devastating injury himself.
Right.
So
Yeah,
I just,
if Godwin's in law, he's on a pitch count.
yeah, definitely.
So
Definitely. So,
Yeah.
it'll be, that'll be definitely something that fantasy managers need to monitor for,
Yeah.
this week, the next
Yep.
next 3 days going forward here. Like you said, Mike, we already know Mike Evans is out for a couple weeks with an injury.
Yeah.
And Buka, we're still looking at. Godwin is still out, and McMillan is nowhere near ready to come back.
Yeah, I think week 12 is the earliest for him. There's no that neck.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of. Is it still Kate Otten down there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So it's going to be a lot
And
of.
Sterling Shepard is their number 2
Okay.
right now.
Well, he's
So
probably going
that's
to end
their.
up moving up. So Sterling
I
Shepard.
see a
and
lot
then-
of Bucky Irving and Rashawn White.
Yeah, but if you're going up against Philly, it's not going to be a good outing for them either.
No. No.
No. So
Sure.
here's something else too. Since we're talking about it real quick here, and we're talking about Philly. Tank Bigsby, they trade for him, and they suit him up, and then they don't play him.
I know. I don't understand.
I don't either.
No, I don't get it. I don't get.
I mean,
I know.
I understand that you're putting in a legitimate backup for Saquon because of Will Shipley being out,
Shipley's hurt, right?
but it's almost like, did you even need to go and make that trade for Tank?
I don't think so.
Like, you could
Be
have had
honest
just
with you.
you could have had anybody back up. You could have had a practice
And
squad.
here's the thing, you don't need a power back. You have the tush push.
Yeah. Yeah. Which the running back
So-
doesn't even get the ball on a tush push. It's the quarterback that runs.
Right. Hurts does, right?
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Definitely things to monitor and pay attention to going forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, man. I think that is the end of our night
Yep.
tonight. We want to thank everybody for stopping by, saying hi. Drop a like, drop a comment. Check us out on Discord. We always post fun things in through there. And we'll be back on Friday for our normally scheduled appearance at 9 p.m. and we'll have the whole gang here. We'll have Matt here. He'll do us his picks for what we've already picked, minus the Thursday night game. I'll get that later. And then yeah, so we'll see everybody on Friday.
That's it.
All right, buddy.
All right, buddy. Take care.
You too.
See ya.
Later.
Oh, the so-so special packs.
That was pretty good.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think
It
they're all
says
good, though.
CJ on